Hello. This is our review of the G Jones concert on Friday, December 1st. It's currently the day after.
We're all tired. We woke up a couple hours ago. We haven't showered or anything.
Yeah,
We're stinky young men.
exactly. So, um, getting to the place was pretty wacky. I mean, it was like a 40-minute drive? What should have been 20 minutes?
Yeah, so for me, it's usually 30, 40 minutes to get to that area. And then
Oh, from Denton?
And then...
Yeah.
But it took, because the traffic to the highway was so, congested. I couldn't even get on the highway for 25 minutes, and then that just boosted it up to an hour. So we were not late, but we left later than we wanted to. When I got there, I picked up my friend, and we went to your house, and then from there, that was another 40-minute drive.
Yeah, that was bad.
When we got there, my buddy, he forgot his identification, so he had to go all the way back.
Yeah.
And he had to go all the way back, and he had to get his ID from my car, which I gave him my keys for.
Yeah, he had to go back with my parents, who were also at the show. So yeah.
But I gave him time to do his extra credit assignment, so hell yeah. That's what's up, dude.
Yeah.
Education first. Yeah, so once everything got, situated, we all got here.
So I'll say, waiting outside wasn't too bad. It was 60-degree weather.
Yeah.
One of our friends, he showed up a little later, but we went in with them, and then they got food. What'd you think of the venue? I mean, I really liked it.
I really liked it too. I liked how open it was. I felt like if I needed to, I could go piss and then come back to the front if no one took the place and no one would care. Because most people didn't seem to eventually the front, because we were up front. Eventually that kind of did fill up, but at first no one was up there. They just all wanted to stand in the back in the middle area. No one wanted to be up front.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I needed to go pee, I could go do that.
And then
I
you could
come
get back,
and
yeah.
it would be fine. I wouldn't have to ask for favors.
Yeah.
I had a pretzel cheese dip, which apparently they don't normally do the cheese dip. The guy was just nice.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
No, for me, I didn't get anything. I just stayed up front. I'm one of those guys who, I guess I'm very protective of my spot. But I mean, my friends and him, they were able to offer me some stuff. I mean, it wasn't a lot though, but it's all good. I didn't eat a lot with that. But the show started around 7:30. It was supposed to start at 8 because the doors were at 7. We were supposed to have an hour, but they started a bit early.
Which is a little annoying if you were wanting to show up on time. It's hey, the first guy's already been playing for half a set.
Yeah, and so the first guy up was Lord Genmu, and he jump scared us with a PlayStation start sound effect.
Yeah, it was the fucking. I think it was the Macintosh, the old Macintosh boot sound. And
yeah.
Then I went to the PS2 sound effect, which I grew up with a PS2. That was which weirdly enough I had by the time the PS3 was already well out, but so I was well familiar with that. And that first guy, Genmu, his sampling was off the fucking charts. He took from a lot of really strange sources.
Yeah. No, it was that was a lot of fun. You were talking about how he was sampling Resident Evil dogs or something.
Yeah, the Cerberus dogs in Resident Evil which I'm sure it's a stock sound.
Yeah.
I'm sure he didn't sit down and think I'm going to sample the Cerberus.
He maybe did, honestly. He maybe did. I could see that.
But it was the yelping sound of when you finally finish off a Cerberus in Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Which was there for half a second. And then the one that was to me more noticeable was I think the Mega Buster charging sound effect from Mega Man X4 on the PS1, which I had growing up, so that was also burned into my brain. But other than that, there was a lot of there was a lot of really good sampling. The beats were fun. He just had a good energy.
He played some good songs by ISOXO, which is a pretty good producer, I feel. He's also worked with ISOXO. Has also worked with G Jones in the past. But yeah, it was a good show. Very a lot of like pictures of like Lane in there, like like
Yeah,
the intro.
he was one of those people who's like early internet like core or whatever, where they're just obsessed with like the early 2000s and like certain like I guess literally made anime girls or whatever, and which is for some people it's a little obnoxious, but I actually didn't mind it. I thought it was cool. He definitely had like the best. I feel like in terms of visuals, I feel like. Not like overall presentation, G. Jones obviously wins there, but in terms of visuals, I think his was like probably the best. Like
Yeah.
the most put into it.
Yeah, and when he ended, it was basically just a smooth transition into Sayer,
Right.
who
I think we agreed was like the weakest part of the show.
he was good, but he was definitely.
I mean,
not
he's
the best.
competent, like he's clearly like talented, but
Yeah.
like the visuals were just like very like boring and like which is whatever.
He played Ram by Silkback, which was pretty cool, but I mean, I didn't recognize a lot of other stuff that he played, which isn't a bad thing. But
I felt like just he was just on there for way too long.
yeah.
Like at first he was like fine. I was kind of like liking how his was more like I guess
Oh,
he had like kind of like a darker sound
he
compared
played
to like Pitbull.
Welcome to London by Floatin'.
Right. Yeah, he did. I remember that. But I kind of liked at first how he had like a darker sound compared to like Genmu, but like after a bit, like I just got kind of annoyed by him and I was bored and I just wanted to like him to move on.
I feel like the openers each playing for an hour definitely like that's like good for some people and bad for other people. I really enjoyed it.
I didn't mind
personally.
it.
Like but I know like I think my parents, since they were up in the balcony, they may have been like waiting for a bit for like that stuff to be over. But I mean, like I think they enjoyed it. But Sayer definitely, I mean, his visuals were a lot of like stuff about like the riots over like the Bolsonaro election and stuff
That
like that.
was like
still.
that was like later. At first, it was mostly just like these weird bit crushed like Silent Hill kind of hospitals.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Marble Hornets ass shit. And,
Yeah.
And that wasn't like super terribly interesting. Which like that doesn't really matter if the music's good, but I didn't think the music was that great either.
But yeah, so. But I did enjoy Sayer. If it did go on for like maybe a bit longer than like he should have. But he went on for the same time as like.
It
the
just
other
felt longer.
openers,
It
yeah.
just felt longer.
So after Sayer was Ivy Lab, or one half of Ivy Lab, and holy shit, man! He started out. What did he play, like a Pusha T song or something like that?
I hated it at first because it sounded like Pitbull. Like that's what he sounded like at first, but like after like that song was over and he started moving to more like drum and bass kind of stuff, I was really having fun. Like I was kind of spazzing out.
Yeah, he played some grime at first, and then he went into what is it? Yeah, drum and bass and stuff like that. And he was a lot of that drum and bass, I believe, was his own. A good amount of it was. Yeah, it was a pretty good set. Very like loud, but very fast.
Yeah.
He kept the tempo up pretty much like most of it. Yeah. I mean, he mentioned how he hadn't been to like this neck of the woods. He doesn't go to this neck of the woods that often. But he was last in Dallas like in March. So yeah, and I saw him there. So I mean that was I don't know. It was pretty fun though. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, no, he had some like really good lighting as well. His whole thing was like
The faces.
the fucking local 58 faces.
Yeah.
I really liked. I do like drum and bass a decent bit. Like I probably. So it was good to hear some of that like live. I remember when I was trying to sleep when we got home, I could like still hear it and like really quietly in my ear when I pressed it up to like the pillow.
Yeah.
And it was like a seashell or something.
Yeah. No, that's same for me too. I mean, like, it was probably one of the fastest shows I saw Chasing Status, and that was pretty fast. But I mean, it was one of the fastest like tempo shows I've seen in like America, definitely.
The actual Gregory Jones, we had it was kind of slightly soured by a guy behind us who was tripping on something.
Yeah, well, okay, so Ivy Lab had left, and he said, "Oh, get ready for the spectacle that's going to be put on by G Jones," and he left, and then they moved out the DJ platform that they had, right? And we were there for maybe like 10 minutes or something like that, and then the lights cut, and then he started playing like some like I think it was the intro to like Liminality or something like that. And
so I did actually, unlike the George Clanton show we went and saw, I actually did do my research beforehand.
Yeah. So it opened with that, and but then after that song played, he started playing a lot of stuff from, and he was actually like live doing it. He had keyboard, he had a circuit board, he had a bunch of modulators and mixers, and he had a laptop open. And he was doing stuff. A lot of stuff. He was going like from platform to platform very quickly, which was pretty fun to see. So he was he after he played like Liminality, he mostly started playing stuff from like Acid Disc 2 and like Illusory Tracks, some like the older stuff. Well, not like tracks from like a year ago, not like tracks from recent He played a lot of good stuff. He played Acid, he played Rave, he played Operator, he played Elysian Hardcore. And then he also played like a lot of stuff from the album. He played Which Way. That one especially was notable because that was like just like in your face, like. And he did play In Your Face too. That was like right at the end, but yeah, Which Way was incredible. Like that was the visuals for it as well. Like,
The lights were like glaring in my face and were like super warm.
yeah, since he has the whole like black and white color palette, all the lights that were being shown at the bottom were just so fluorescently bright. But it was fun though. I thought the visuals were really good. I'm kind of it's kind of unfortunate they can't do lasers in that venue because it's like not enough room above like our heads. But below the balcony there's just not enough room. So yeah, that guy who was probably on like 2 tabs of acid or something like that. He was wearing this red jacket and he kept bumping into us, and that guy was so incoherent. Like, you'd say one thing to him, like I tried to make like some little conversation with him to like see how he was holding up. And you'd say one thing to him and he'd just try and have like a whole ass conversation with you. It was I mean, he seemed like he would be a decent guy if he wasn't on drugs. He seemed pretty knowledgeable about like the music and like the culture around the stuff and like but he was
seeing
gone.
shit.
He was
gone, and he was like, I don't think he had any understanding that like the floor wasn't like his personal dance floor.
Yeah.
And he was like yelling and making a lot of noise about like, yeah, she goes. And it's like,
yeah.
He even asked my friend like if he had like drugs on him. Or, I don't remember what particular.
Molly and
DMA.
Yeah. He was asking for that's like for the older audiences, that's ecstasy. So you know, but yeah.
Yeah, which obviously none of us had on.
No,
because like of fucking course, right? It's extremely illegal.
Well, it is illegal, but like people bring drugs to these shows all the time.
But we're like 20.
Yeah.
Like why the fuck we're like college.
I bet there were a good amount of people.
Why would we have that?
I bet there were a good amount of people there who had drugs though. But
yeah,
that guy was far gone. He was definitely the most. And after a while, maybe like after half the G Jones set, he was gone.
Yeah, he just disappeared.
I didn't see him leave.
Disappeared. I looked behind me once, and it was just a red jacket shaped hole.
Yeah.
Where he just fucking disappeared into the ether.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
But so at the end of the G Jones show, he left after playing. I think it's like the final song off the album. And he left, and like in my mind, he played Time, and then he went to the last song of the album. But so I think it was like a combination of both or something like that. My memory's kind of failing me. But so he ended with that, and then he left, and probably like people like in the center probably couldn't see where he went. Well, we just saw him like kind of like hanging around the curtain. It was pretty clear he was gonna come back, and we still had like 15 minutes to go. So he walked back in, and he was like, "All right, guys, it's me, G Jones. How are you guys doing? We're gonna play some more songs because we have some more time, just for the fans." I mean, like, I kind of tell it was like at least a little bit impromptu because a lot of the visuals just didn't match the aspect ratio of the screen
I
behind
think
us.
he planned to do it, but he wasn't sure if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, he had a contingency plan for, like, if he just decided he wasn't up for it.
But he played one of his songs that he did with ISOXO. He played a song, an unreleased song that he did with EPROM or EPROM. And then he played final song he played was the G Jones and like at prom remix of Shell Shock by Corliss, and that one was really good. He ended with that, and that was a lot of fun.
Because I did listen to Pats beforehand. I kind of wanted to hear more from Pats, but I understand that like album tours usually aren't just the album like back to back. They obviously like sprinkle in like.
It was a good amount of the album though. I'd say it was most of it.
Yeah, probably, but like it's kind of because some bands are like amazing, like Grateful Dead is like great live, but then you listen to their albums and it's just kind of like.
Yeah.
Do whatever.
Yeah.
But then some bands are like amazing, like they make great albums, but they just don't translate well to live experiences at all.
Yeah.
I feel like G Jones was like remarkably consistent. Like it was basically just the same experience, but like you were there, and it was really loud, and the audio was like obviously being played live, so it was like completely uncompressed and all that kind of. It was a really good translation of the album to a live experience. It was pretty much 1-to-1.
Yeah, I mean, I being like a pretty long-term fan of Greg's work,
Mr. Gregory
Jones. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Keep in mind, I'm not like the biggest fan of Paths. Like I thought it was good, but I need to re-listen to it again. But it was like I think seeing it live made me like appreciate it a bit more because you kind of have that like I guess all around you sensory feeling that you don't really get with like a stereo headset.
Yeah. Well, my final thoughts, my final opinions. It was not whimsy-filled.
No AJR.
It was not childlike horror. It was not AJR. And very disappointed in the fact that I didn't see any lyrics about 100 Bad Days. I didn't hear any cursed Woody sing the song. Didn't hear any of that. Very sad. Very sad to hear. But seriously, but seriously, I really enjoyed it. Try. It's up there with like a lot of like. It's just like one of the best. I don't know. It's like one of the best shows I've seen.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely like not like super my scene. I definitely like shows where I just like sit down and get to like close my eyes and just like listen, which I guess I could have done.
Yeah.
But like I mean.
If you want to get balcony tickets, yeah.
But like that's not why I would go to an electronic show. Like that's different. That's like if I were to go to a punk show, I wouldn't want to sit down and close my eyes or anything. I'd like want to get in the fucking pit, right?
Yeah.
It's like I wouldn't really want to go to an electronic show like that unless it was like strictly ambient or something. But like the only two concerts I've ever been to were Weezer, which I went to in high school. I went to in high school. I don't even like Weezer, but like my friend did at the time, and that was like fun. But I didn't really care about the music too much. And I went to, of course, Final Fantasy Distant Worlds and Roger Waters' This Is Not a Drill Tour, which is like those are very much sit down concerts. So these electronic concerts and like vaporwave concerts have been like dragged off to are like completely different than like my usual scene. So I'm still like adapting to them. Yeah. And getting used to them.
You'll be adapting to them more because this isn't it.
Unfortunately.
Well, final score, I guess. I guess a 9, I would say, for the whole ordeal.
I don't know if I'm like knowledgeable enough to like rate it out of 10, but my instinct is like an 8.
An 8.
Like that's my gut feeling.
Alright, well this is the first video I've ever done like this, so I hope you enjoyed it, and there will be more. There will be more.
Amen.
Alright, peace.